Good morning, guys. Today we're going to talk about the Jamestown Colony. What we're going to start with is this video. Okay, so the second thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the My World Social Studies textbook. So you can pull yours up online. And we're going to look at Lesson 2, pages 130 to 134. I'm going to read it out loud to you in just a minute, but I want to just show you your note page. It looks like this. So it's a Google Doc, a Google Cloud. So what you're going to do is you are going to answer these questions. So the first question is, why did the Virginia Company send settlers to Jamestown? And then you're going to put your answer here and then note you have here. And so this will be your note page for that. If you want to pull up your book, your textbook, to read while I read page 130 to 134, go ahead and do that now. I'll give you just a minute. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start to read page 130. Success at Jamestown. More than a decade would pass before England began making serious plans to start another American colony. After Queen Elizabeth died, the new King James I became interested in setting up an English colony. In 1606, he gave an organization called the Virginia Company the power to carry out the project. The Virginia Company wanted to start the colony that earned money. In order to fund the project, the company invited investors to buy shares or part ownership in the company. An investor gives money to a business hoping to earn more money in return. In the Virginia Company, if the Virginia Company earned a profit from the materials or products exported from Virginia's, investors would receive a share of the profits. Meanwhile, the company could use the investors' money to pay for the project. So if you have page 130 out, you can look at the graphic at the bottom. So you have investors paying for the shares. The company financed 3 ships to take settlers to Virginia. The settlers built a colony at Jamestown. They lumber, tobacco, glass, tar, and pitch were exported to England. And after the products were sold, the investors shared in the profits. Soon the Virginia Company was ready to begin its project. In late 1606, 3 ships and more than 100 colonists set sail for America. The ships carried strict orders from company leaders. These told the colonists what kind of site to choose for the colony. It was to be a river inland from the ocean. That way, ships from rival countries could not easily spot it. It should also be easy to defend from attack. The English were especially worried about the presence of Spanish ships sailing from Cuba and Florida. These might pose a threat to a Virginia colony. The Jamestown instructions also spelled out how many colonists should build houses and how many should plant crops. Others were to hunt for gold or search for rivers that might be a shortcut to the riches of Asia. The colonists even received tips on how to treat American Indians. They were told, you must have great care not to offend the naturals, the American Indians. For the most part, the colonists followed the instructions. They chose what they thought was a safe and healthy spot. They went about the work of building the colony. They named it Jamestown after their king. Jamestown would become the first lasting English colony in North America. Hard times in Jamestown. Unfortunately, the Jamestown colonists soon found that their settlement was not in a healthy location. The water was unfit to drink, and the clouds of mosquitoes attacked from the nearby swamps. Many colonists died from disease carried by the insects. Also, the local Pohonda people were not always friendly. They worried about having newcomers settle in their territory. The Pohondas made several attacks on the colony. After the first year, John Smith became the leader in Jamestown. He pushed the settlers to improve the colony. He tried to improve relations with the Indians and their chief, whom the colonists called Pohon. According to Smith's journal, he also made friends with the Indians, the chief's younger daughter. Smith wrote that Pocahontas once saved his life after the Pohons had taken him prisoner. The story may not be true. What is true is that Pocahontas made friends with the colonists. For a time, the two groups got along much better. In the fall of 1609, Smith was hurt in an accident. He had to return to England. Around that time, a new group of English settlers arrived. They were supposed to help the colony. Instead, they stretched food supplies to the limit. The result was a disaster. The freezing winter of 1609 to 1610 was called the Starving Time. The colony survived only because more colonists and supplies arrived from England in the spring. However, Jamestown faced still another problem. It was not earning money. The colonists had not found the gold. The goods they produced did not sell well in Europe. The investors in the Virginia Company were getting impatient. So I did want to show you where you could find your book if you want to go back and look as you fill out your note sheet. If you go to your SSO, it's the Easy Bridge, and if you click on it, you will be able to go to your textbook, and that will help you with your questions. And then once you finish taking your notes, you're going to get on and do the Ed puzzle on Jamestown. So you'll watch it and it'll ask you some questions. If you need anything, make sure you get a hold of your teacher.